Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're doing another anecdote for Reverse 1999. This one happens to fall under the new anecdote umbrella. I figured I would give this one a fair shot to see if it's any better than the last one. I really hope it's good because it's actually centered on one of my favorite characters. Let's introduce her.
Knock first. Now walk out and wait till I say, come in please.
Alright, so fun fact, the main character is canonically just walking in on people unannounced. And it's funny because sometimes she'll just walk in on people monologuing to themselves. Case in point.
Je m'en souviens maintenant. Dans le bureau de grand-mère.
And then we have cases like Jessica where she just hits you with this.
I'm so glad we meet again. When you were gone, I collected every hair of yours and put them in that drawer.
So, Matilda. She's aggressively French, aggressively prideful, and aggressively down bad for Sonetto.
The great Matilda will become the Foundation's best on-site investigator ever, together with her assistant Sonnet. They will excel at all missions assigned.
What else do you say?
Matilda is, of course, the best. She's even the first one who gets into bed.
She's a very entertaining character, one I'm always happy to see in this story, and she's actually the main character of some of the side events. While Verton's out collecting additional trauma and horror movie characters, Matilda's out collecting weird fortune tellers and hot men. Her anecdote's gonna be interesting because it could focus on her fixation on Sonetto, or it could focus on her relationship with her mother, who got added as a character in this newest event.
So you have a mother?
By the way, if that got you curious, this is what she looks like. Alright, time to get started on handover day. I really hope that there's not too much French words I need to pronounce here, because my French sucks. Despite having Cajun ancestry, I'm pretty far removed from the bayou, so I never learned it. This does look slightly more like the traditional setup, of like having nodes that you select. Here we go. Ah, dang it, we're still doing this thing. Well, what do you think, Maman? Oh man, Matilda's voice is also way higher than I'm used to going. Well, what do you think, Maman? The girl twirls across the black and white tile, showing off her coat embroidered with the same pattern. It hangs a little loose on her, but the joy in her movement makes such a detail irrelevant. You look beautiful, my dear, but... There. Much better. Beryl brushes the fringe from her daughter's forehead and nods with a gentle smile. Seems like this is gonna be about Matilda and Beryl. Awesome. My, how you have changed. Of course, Maman. I'm all grown up now. I shouldn't try to do the French accent. I really suck at that too. Look! Matilda hops over to her desk and grabs a letter. She carefully unfolds it as if afraid it might tear. In recognition of Special Investigator Matilda Boniche's outstanding performance, the committee has decided to promote her to Official Investigator Level 3. Wow, hang on, my voice is so off today. Maybe I should go for my kid voice. I think that's about the pitch I need. This appointment... No, I don't think I can do that either. This appointment is effective immediately. Identity and clearance levels will be updated shortly. St. Pavlov Foundation Investigator Management Center. That tone of voice will have to do for now. Finally! I've waited so very long for this. Aha, finally! Now you can't make any more excuses, Maman. She puffs her cheeks and shoots her mother a playful glare. Some time ago, her mother had vanished without a trace. Even the Foundation couldn't find her. Matilda had spent many nights tossing and turning over it. I wonder if they meet in the event story. I haven't played it yet. It usually doesn't matter what order you play the stuff in. This could be an exception though. Then a few days ago, Beryl reappeared safe and calm as ever. Rumor had it she had returned to meet with Madame Z and Matilda's old classmate, the one who became the timekeeper. But no matter how Matilda pressed for answers, her mother only smiled and said,
No need to hurry.
You must uncover the truth yourself. I have already taught you everything you need to know. Cryptic fortune teller, Mom. Just as she is now. That's how her mother has always been. Matilda has learned to accept it. Alright, the only thing left is to hand over my duties as monitor assistant. They said they have already found someone and I must meet her today. While I'm away, the newcomer will take over disciplinary duties at the school. So today is my great foray into tutorship. Lucky for me, it's field trip day, so there won't be any students around. Field trip day. It's an extended learning curriculum launched by the SPDM in the past 2 years, sending students to explore Foundation branches, Laplace laboratories, and Xeno training grounds. While the options are limited, at least from now on, the students have one more event to look forward to besides the annual parade ceremony. It's said that the proposal for this extended learning curriculum went through a multi-year process before it was ultimately approved and executed. She confidently puffs her chest, then tilts her head, a slight frown growing on her face. Still, ever since I woke up this morning, I've had an uneasy feeling. Like something bad is going to happen. I think I need to put more pep into this voice. I tried divination with my orbiculum, but the reading was unclear. Matilda glances at her mother, already knowing what kind of answer to expect. I have taught you more than just divination. Aha! I know it's bothering me. It's that awful woman, the monitor director. She doesn't like me. Well, I don't like her either. Main hall of the Foundation. Huh? It was not long after Matilda's graduation, on one of her many visits to St. Pavlov Foundation, that she caught sight of a familiar figure in the hall. Hello, Madame Z. There we go. Hello, Matilda. There was no way she let this opportunity slip by. I submitted my application to become an investigator, but I still haven't heard back. All my classmates have been assigned except me. Do you know why? Do you? Investigator. She paused for a moment then gave a faint smile. I'm not sure about the details, but if I remember correctly, you're younger than most of your classmates, aren't you? You mean my age? This wasn't the answer she was hoping for, and not something that could be fixed through determination alone. But I know you did well in school. I'm sure you'll make an excellent investigator one day. But this is a dangerous line of work. Perhaps for now you could start as a monitor assistant. Build some experience. What do you say? Hang on, future me, put a Madam Z voice line here, just so I can show what I'm going for.
The Timekeeper's power to discipline should be transferred back to the School of Discipline and the Foundation. The Foundation will conduct a unified risk assessment on Arcanists to ensure this team is always under control.
What? An exclamation of disbelief from a voice Matilda had hoped she'd never hear again. The monitor director stormed over, her face dark with rage. Madam Z, I know I asked for help in finding a candidate, but... Her? Please tell me you're joking. The director shot Matilda a glare, her expression a mix of shock and fury. Matilda, what did you do to her? She's gotta be one of the least disciplined students we've ever had. I mean, probably nothing compared to Verton. Rekindled memories. Monitor assistants. In quotation marks. Those who assist with discipline may create their own. Different choices unlock different rekindled memories. What choice did I make there? Tap to check how a rekindled memory is unlocked. In stage 3, successfully use your arcane skill to save a falling boy. See, I'd say that was spoilers, but Matilda is a diviner, so I think it's kind of on brand to look at these. Well, we're not at chapter 3 yet. SPDM, the ideal candidate. Two girls, one after the other, walk down the shaded path that follows the school building. One is chattering nonstop, the other quietly following behind. Here we are. This is the path all students take to class every day. The class monitor reports to us on attendance and whether anyone is feeling unwell. If someone is ill, it is our responsibility to check on them. We just use the same old method. Take a drop of blood, drip it into a glass of water, and if the fern inside changes color, there is a problem. But sometimes this method isn't so sensitive, so if a student looks really awful, I just... Are you listening? Of course, Miss Matilda. The girl's eyes briefly flick up from behind her glasses, then drop right back to the notebook in her hands. Matilda can't help but recall the moment the monitor director introduced this new monitor assistant, the successor. This is Miss Lavender Dale, one of this year's graduates. The monitor director rests a hand on the shoulder of a black-haired girl standing nearby. She is her class's valedictorian and demonstrates the greatest discipline. I believe that she is the best candidate for the position of monitor assistant. The usually stone-faced director looked at the bespectacled girl with visible pride and satisfaction, the kind that left no room for doubt. Nepotism. By comparison, her opinion of Matilda was likely the complete opposite. Since she started as a monitor assistant, the two have clashed more than once, Matilda giving in more often than not. But there is no question that those exchanges were unpleasant for both sides. Matilda snaps back to attention, noticing the steady scratch of a pen across paper. What are you writing? Did I really talk that much? Just adding some notes. Reminders for myself. The eyes behind the lenses drift back to the notebook, the pen never stopping. Oh my goodness, is the notebook really that important? It is a subject that Matilda prefers not to discuss. At her former school, Miss Matilda Boniche was always the top student. However, since enrolling in the SPDM, she has never ranked higher than 3rd. Behind Verton and Sonetto, I bet. Well, I'm not sure about Verton. Only because of certain lines like this.
I remember you, Miss Burton, when you were still a student. When I was the dentist there, you always visited the clinic. All those headaches you had were fake, but the wounds and bruises were real. I think your frequent visits were for the comforting candies, weren't they? Because you always smiled when you received the toffees.
She couldn't understand it. They were taking the same classes and no one was putting in extra hours of study time. Why was she falling short? After a lot of careful thought, she theorized that the others must have a special trick when it came to taking class notes. Asking to borrow their notes directly would be the best approach, and Matilda figured that they were unlikely to refuse the request, but she couldn't bring herself to ask. Still young, she viewed them as rivals and was unwilling to make a move that suggested weakness. She tried countless times to muster the courage, only to stop herself, retreating in embarrassment beneath their questioning eyes. Oh my goodness. Then one morning, an opportunity presented itself. The classroom was empty, and only the children's stationery, books, and most importantly, their notes remained on their desks. The temptation of the devil proved irresistible. Drawn by some inexplicable force, she edged closer to the desk that didn't belong to her. Ah! A noise came from outside the door, making her jump like a surprised rabbit, causing her to crash straight into the newcomer. The suspect, Matilda Boniche, was immediately apprehended, thus ending her criminal career. Yet to this day, she still remembers what she saw in that hurried moment. Questions the instructor mentioned and those not mentioned. Some came with answers and some without. Every page of that notebook was filled with dense, cramped writing. It turned out that the orange-haired girl, whom she had always regarded as merely a rival, harbored far deeper thoughts than she let on. Now the question is the girl before her the same? Oh, okay, so Verton walked in on her. A cloud of suspicion builds in Matilda until a thought takes shape. Wait, don't tell me. The uneasy feeling that's been hanging over her since morning washes over her once more. If something were to go wrong with her promotion, there's only one person who could be behind it, the monitor director. I think she's eager to get rid of you. It may not even be out of malice. The woman has been in her post for decades. She's a relic. It's not as if Matilda ever means to defy the rules, it's just that the whole system is hopelessly outdated. A good arcanist needs broad knowledge, an open mind, deep understanding of arcanum, and quick judgment in crisis. But at the SPDM, whoever obeys the dusty student handbook best is considered excellent. The more like a puppet, the better. Becoming a monitor assistant was never her plan, but once appointed, she tried to bring something new and better to the school. Sadly, to the director, that was an unforgivable misdemeanor. In front of the school building. No, it's more like she's always believed that deep down. I'm gonna pivot to an accent for this character. What did you say? Nothing. Matilda flinches, immediately on guard. If her guess is right, the first year may be the director's little spy, sent to evaluate her performance. You said if a student really looks awful, you would... What? Nothing. Usually Matilda will judge for herself whether a student is faking or truly sick. If it's the latter, she has her own tricks to help them out. But now's not the time to talk about that. If she wants her promotion to stay on track, she better keep her progressive ideas under wraps, at least for today. By progressive ideas, she means a slight stinging sensation pulsed at the tip of her fingertip. It was nothing next to the pain stabbing through her head. The blood drawn by the syringe dropped into the cup. After a long wait, however, the fern still remained a vibrant green. Looks like I'm alright. Sorry, I'll head back to class now. Lie back down. Your face is as pale as a ghost. She was gently pushed back into the bed. The person in front of her pulled a fountain pen from the pocket before smearing some ink into the leaf. The leaf has changed color, indicating that you aren't feeling well. You should rest today. Noticing her stunned expression, the monitor assistant gives her a wink. Heh, guess you didn't know. This is one of the most advanced testing methods available. Ellipses. Behind the school building. Next, I'll take you to the infirmary. If a student gets ill or injured and no teachers are around, we are responsible for basic first aid. Follow me. This way behind the building is quicker. She stops in her tracks, the girl behind her letting out a small gasp. About 3 stories high, on the back wall of the school building, 2 white-clad figures are awkwardly edging along a window frame. What are you two doing? Okay, so a boy's gonna fall. Behind the school building. Oh no, it's the monitor assistant.
Hurry up!
Go! Climb! Climb! The kids can't be older than 6 or 7. You're kidding me. The moment they spot Matilda and Lavender, panic flashes across their faces, and they scramble upward in a flurry. Isn't today supposed to be field trip day? What are students still doing here? There's no time to think. The boy slips, his foot missing the ledge below. He's going to fall! The window to act is gone in an instant. The incantation Matilda learned in class springs to her lips. Svebi, stay. Oh! That was timed. I gotta watch out for that. The boy freezes midair, then slowly drifts down onto the grass. His face is as pale as chalk. Ooh, gotta love telekinesis. Ha! Good for you, the great Matilda Boiniche was here. That could have ended very badly. Svebi, stay. You applied your knowledge beyond the classroom. That alone outperformed 80% of your fellow students. Oh wow. Just throw them under the bus.
What?
Stony, are you okay? Ah! The girl leans forward to look and, in the panic of seeing her friend fall, loses her balance. Come on.
Help!
Ah! She comes hurtling down, and this time Matilda is too slow. A thought flashes through her mind, heavy with dread. It's over. But what follows isn't the dull thud she expects, nor a child's frightened wail. It's a familiar voice.
Hey.
Jay? What are you doing here? Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
I've seen rain and hail fall from the sky, but never kids. A young man in silver white armor stands before them. Luckily, he appeared just in time to catch the girl. That's our bro. But why are you wearing armor? Is there a Renaissance festival no one told me about? He gently sets the girl down. She is unhurt but pale and shaken. Fraser squad, superb timing. But how did you... She freezes as she notices the face beneath the helmet. The Vash! Jay! Long time no see, French fry. Didn't think I'd run into you today. What are you doing here? You joined the Razor Squad? She steps closer, her eyes lighting up as she examines his gleaming armor. Not exactly. I'm, what's the word? Right, an intern. The squad's doing a presentation here soon, so we came to scout the place. Gonna be a mock battle too. The captain's making me do it.
Come on.
I get that it's an honor or whatever, but I ain't the kind of guy to pretend to fight. Cramps my style. Hate street style. What? You're a great show-off. It should be easy, no? Hey, I ain't a show-off. I'm the real deal. Don't gotta put it on when cool just oozes from you. Yeah, right. Cool.
Ew. Ugh. Bring it on, Jay. You can do this. It's just a raw egg. Come on, gotta stay in shape.
An unexpected reunion, full of laughter and nostalgia. I hope Shemaine makes a cameo too. So, you're a mentor now, huh? Not bad. He glances at Lavender standing quietly behind her, then gives Matilda a pat on the shoulder. Make sure you set a good example, huh? With a wave, the young man strides off. Time to get back to business. Do you two have any idea how dangerous that was? Well, what do you have to say for yourselves? Why were you sneaking into the building? Planning a prank, The two kids exchange a nervous glance. No matter how Matilda questions them, they just mumble. You do realize that according to school rules, this means you'll be sent to... Matilda can't bring herself to finish the sentence, but Lavender delivers the verdict coldly. The guardhouse. Ugh, that place. I think Virgin nearly died there once. Part 4. Curiosity unspoiled. I don't want to go to the guardhouse. It's dark and cold in there. And the rats are as big as puppies, and they bite. Yeah, reminder that the time period is before 1999. Back when punishments were a lot harsher.
Please.
Please, just this once, let us go. Please. I think Matilda would if she wasn't being watched. The two continue to plead as Matilda marches them to the guardhouse. She almost gives in. She's done the same before. Sure, mistakes should be punished, but it should be something like a week without candy or half allowance for a month. She knows what the guardhouse is like. The place has cruel little lessons meant to make naughty children remember their mistakes. No, rules are rules. If you didn't want to end up there, you shouldn't have been so reckless. Or you shouldn't have been caught. Matilda finishes the thought silently and steels herself. As their cries continue behind her, she glances back at Lavender. She's scribbling once again in her notebook. Ellipses. Guardhouse. Not this one. Much too drafty, they'll catch a cold. And this one. Why is the floor all wet? Ugh, disgusting. That will need cleaning later. She's at least trying to find them a good spot. Matilda opens door after door until only one room remains. What are all the Shamirs doing here? I swear I cleared them out last time. Well, I suppose there's nothing for it. This is the only one left. I have no idea what a Shamir is, by the way. The moment she steps inside, the kids turn pale. But don't worry, I will chase them out. Fuego burn! That was a little too British. A burst of flame flashes across the cold tiles. Startled, the Shamir scurry out through the crack under the door. By the time the last one has wiggled its way out, the room already feels warmer. The handbook doesn't mention cleaning the guardhouse room before locking students inside. It's called Basic Human Decency. Or Basic Arcanist Decency. It's the first time her successor has spoken up. And does it say we cannot? I see. Matilda notices Lavender's eyes widen slightly before she flips her notebook open again to jot something down. Who knows what? Either way, Matilda just can't bring herself to leave a couple of kids who look like they just started elementary arcanum locked up in a room full of Shamirs. Alright, get in. According to the rules, you'll have to stay in here until evening. Nice. Okay, that's not too long. Depending on when this takes place. I'll return later to check on you. As long as you behave and think long and hard about what you've done, you will make it out in time for dinner. Matilda turns to leave and feels someone tug at her coat.
Please?
Can you stay with us? Everyone else went out on the field trip. It's boring being stuck here alone. A thought crosses Matilda's mind. That's right. Today is field trip day. What are you two still doing here?
But...
We wanted to go, of course, but they found an old notebook with instructions on how to make a football in it. Apparently from a former student. They smashed the window on the second floor. I'm sorry. We were just curious. The girl's cheeks flush bright red.
Because...
We only wanted to know what it's like outside, what people out there do. That's against the rules. The student handbook clearly states that students must not engage with the outside world unless given express permission. But if a teacher's watching, then it's fine, right? Otherwise we wouldn't have field trips or parade ceremonies. The girl puffs up her cheeks and looks at Lavender, her fingers tightening around Matilda's coat.
Please?
Tell us a story about being a special investigator. I heard you talking with that big boy just now. You've been to lots of places, haven't you? India? America? I've only seen those names in books.
Please.
All eyes fall on Matilda. She has no intention of saying no. Part 5. What do I gotta look out for here? Share your peculiar thoughts with a certain girl. Lavender? Let's see. Gotta be on the lookout for a QuickTime event. An unconventional answer. Truthfully, I was absolutely terrified back then. I really thought I was going to die. But thanks to the Razor Squad, we made it out alive. Inside the orbiculum on her lap, dazzling scenes of adventure unfold. When the story ends, the kids' mouths are still hanging open in awe.
Wow.
What happened next? What about the energy healer lady? She registered with the Foundation, but left soon after. She's a wandering dancer, free as the wind, always drifting wherever life takes her.
That's awesome.
I like that Indian guy better, with the mask and the mechanical arm. So cool! Mercuria and Shemaine mention. Miss Matilda, tell us again about how you smashed that door open. The two chatter endlessly around her, their eyes shining brightly in the dim guardhouse. Finally, they ask the question. Can we be like you someday, Miss Matilda? Go out into the world and meet lots of people? Of course you can! But first, you need to grow up a bit. There's a reason the student handbook forbids leaving school without permission. It's very dangerous. The two kids exchange glances.
Listen.
We heard some rumors. They said a few years ago some kid snuck out of school and something bad happened. Boy, did it. That's spoilers for main story, though. Who told you that? Who's spreading those lies? Lavender's sharp tone makes both children fall silent. Then Matilda speaks. They weren't troublemakers. They were just like you, curious about the world outside. There's nothing wrong with that. Miss Matilda. Matilda ignores Lavender's clear disapproval, gently placing her hands on the children's small shoulders. They just didn't know how dangerous the outside world can be. There are terrible disasters and people far more terrifying than any monster. The storm. Manus Vindictae, names that are not supposed to be spoken on school grounds, but Matilda has seen too many who have suffered because of them. Those cunning villains set a trap, luring them into a nightmare, into a lie. It wasn't any of those children's fault, but one of them decided to take all the blame alone. Matilda recalls the face of that old classmate. That day, she'd given her a pair of crystal earrings as a parting gift. The next time she saw her, she only caught a glimpse of her back. She's always hated watching people walk away. That's why I became an investigator. I will help the Foundation uncover the truth behind those disasters and ensure the people responsible get what they deserve. I will not allow the same tragedy to happen again. Her calm voice fills the room, carrying a quiet but unshakable resolve. The two children exchange a look before speaking up. So what's written in the student handbook? Is it true? It says we should devote ourselves to ensure the peace and stability of the human world. So we have to become investigators too, or do something else that's valuable.
Which means...
That's what our future will be, right? Well... She glances back at Lavender, who is eyeing her closely from behind her glasses. The correct answer is clear, but... not necessarily. Not necessarily. Miss Matilda, unable to hold back the truth, her words draw a startled gasp. Matilda clenches her teeth, electing to ignore it. Uncertainty and possibility. The future belongs to all children. You are a representation of the infinite possibility. There are many terrible disasters going on outside, and bad people running rampant. The most important thing is to fix these problems so everyone can live in safety again. It's not easy. It will take the effort of everyone, and it will take yours too. When you're older, I mean. But once the crisis is over, people should be free to do what they truly want. Not the correct answer, but the correct answer. Part 6. The reflections she sees.
Oh!
Still in the guardhouse. Then I want to be a knight, like Bradamant's. Never heard that name. I want to write poems. I'm not very good yet, though. The children dreamed aloud about their futures, and the guardhouse fills with more laughter than it's ever heard before. Ellipses. At some point, the scratching of pen on paper has stopped. Lavender taps her pen against the page, yet cannot bring herself to write a single word. What about you, Miss Matilda? What do you want to do?
For example,
Be a legendary investigator? The kind who writes a bunch of books about their adventures? Or like your mother, a traveling crystal merchant, or a fortune teller? Married to Sonetto is probably the answer. Me? The question catches Matilda off guard. She thinks for a moment before replying. I'm interested in all those things, but none of them feels like what she truly wants most. Her confusion makes the vision within the operculum fade, returning it to its original clarity. Your medium is reflection. Matilda recalls her mother's words from the first time she performed an arcane skill. Signs of the future will present themselves to you through anything that holds a reflection. Our arcane skills mirror our nature. My nature? What does that mean, Maman? Her mother only smiled, as she always did. You will understand when the time comes. Matilda was too young to grasp her words at the time, so the memory buried itself deep in her mind. Now, seeing her own face mirrored in the curve of the orbiculum, it's such a hard word to say, she begins to understand. It began with her grandfather's stories. Tales of heroes who braved great adventures, achieved glory, and won the admiration of many. Those stories planted a seed in her heart. She wanted to become someone great, someone extraordinary. But stories alone couldn't teach her to achieve it. What did it mean to actually be someone great? Her first guiding star was her mother, Beryl Boiniche, always graceful, composed, and effortlessly brilliant. So Matilda mimicked her gestures, took up an orbiculum, and practiced the art of divination. Then came that fleeting encounter at the parade ceremony. From the moment she met her, she knew the orange-haired girl would forever be her rival. So she transferred to the SPDM, buried herself in books, and learned the meaning of competition, cooperation, and friendship among her peers. And then came Verton. Matilda had once dismissed her as unfocused, yet even back in their student days, she couldn't deny her natural brilliance. After that incident, the timekeeper and her chief assistant drifted apart, and Matilda, refusing to be left behind, worked tirelessly, submitting application after application to finally become an official investigator. So that's what Maman meant. She finally realizes that her mother, Sonetto, even Verton, are all the same in one way. Some she saw as mentors, others as rivals, but what she truly saw in all of them were the reflections of her own aspirations. Following those reflections, she had always been tracing her path forward, step by step. The answer now clear, Matilda smiles. But none of that is what I want most. None of them is my final goal in life. I do plan to be a skilled investigator, and I want to refine my fortune telling, yes. But once all those pressing problems are solved, there are still so many other things I'm curious to do. Things I want to try. I cannot say exactly what I'll be doing decades from today. The orbiculum in her hands glows once more, lighting the children's faces with a reflection of a dazzling world. The most important thing is to be yourself. To become the person you want to be. So there is one thing I'm certain of. When that time comes, I know I will truly become the great Matilda Boiniche. To be continued. Ah, and wow, Lavender looks exactly like how I imagined her. This art is great. On to part 7. Seizing the opportunity. Alright, enough stories. Now you two stay put and finish your detention properly. If you're as curious as you say about the outside world, then don't do any more silly things, like falling out of windows. That way, next year, you'll get to go on a field trip with everyone else. Matilda turns to say goodbye, but the kids' faces crumple into disappointment. Even if we behave, we won't get picked. Picked? What do you mean? Field trip day should be for everyone. It was that way last year, but this time they said only the ones they choose get to go. Oh wow. Things have somehow gotten even worse around here. The boy hangs his head. Something in his tone makes Matilda's eyes narrow. You mean there are more children left in school? Where are they? SPDM classroom. Matilda knocks once before pushing the door open. The classroom is full but dead silent. So silent it's suffocating. All the blank young eyes turn toward her, pens freezing mid-stroke. Behind the podium, the monitor director rises to her feet. Lena, John. She stares in disbelief at the two children behind Matilda, then glances back toward the back row, two desks piled high with books. Huh, you two never learn your lesson, do you? Well done, Miss Borniche. You two, up front, now. Madam Harper, I'm here for you. Matilda cuts her off. May I have a word outside? Something in Matilda's eyes makes the director hesitate. After a moment's scrutiny, she agrees. Continue your self-study. I'll have no fooling around, understood? In the hallway, Miss Matilda, what are you going to do? In the few seconds before the monitor director steps out, Lavender tugs gently on Matilda's sleeve. You knew about this, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me? But when she sees Lavender's face, she swallows the rest of her words. Don't worry, leave it to me. But... The classroom door swings open. The director's gaze is as sharp as a blade. Miss Borniche, make it quick. I don't have time to waste. I'd like to know why so many students weren't allowed to join the field trip. What is this new selection system about? It doesn't seem to match the reason why Madame Z introduced the field trip day. What are you implying? It's a school decision. Matilda takes a deep breath, her voice trembling slightly, but she's already made up her mind. Make a stand. Then the school's decision is wrong. She'd promised herself she would stay out of trouble today, but she's changed her mind. She was once like them, a scolded child in a classroom, looking out the window hoping any passing grown-up would speak up in the name of fairness. But no one ever did. But now she can be that grown-up she always hoped to see. Wrong. Do you hear what you're saying? We announced the rules long ago. Anyone who breaks school regulations or fails classes loses the right to participate. Yet these children still refuse to behave and still ignore their studies. Is that fair to the good students? Those who did everything right? I hate that mentality. Give the good students an additional word instead of being so stingy. Like, we know these kids are 6 or 7 years old. You can't expect kids that young to be perfectly well behaved. Rekindled memories can unlock special options. That's not the point. Select the rekindled memory and try using that mindset when talking to the monitor director. You're right, good behavior deserves a reward and mistakes should have consequences. But this punishment isn't right. She looks toward the classroom, and the eyes peeking up at her, filled with quiet hope. Even the so-called bad kids have a right to be curious about the outside. A right to see the world they were born into. You know how precious this opportunity is for them. Every child deserves this right. I'm glad it highlights the one I need to select. When Madame Z first proposed the field trip day, the goal was to let all students safely and appropriately explore the world beyond school walls. That is exactly what last year's notice said. It's still pinned on the main hall bulletin board. You heard me, Madam Harper. It says all students. What exactly are you trying to say, Monitor Assistant Matilda Borniche? They should be part of the field trip. I will take them. You? Her voice rises sharply, eyes locked on Matilda as though she's staring at some foreign creature. You don't have the authority. Not even I do. Miss Borniche, you're being reckless. You have no idea what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, she has life experience now. What do you gotta say to that, bitch? The door is right here beside me. All I have to do is open it and they will be free. I bumped into the Razor Squad earlier. They have a car to drive us to the site. We will all be safe with them there. The children may have missed the morning events, but if we leave now, we'll still make it in time for the picnic and afternoon activities. Do you understand the consequences of this? I think she understands more than anyone. I do, Madam Harper. She was once a student too. Matilda takes a few steps forward and grips the doorknob. She opens the door. This is a really good one. Part 8. The sense of fulfillment that had filled Matilda's chest slowly fades as she steps beyond the gate, dimming with the evening sky.
What troubles you?
The undefined good. It seems my daughter had a little difficulty today. Mama, I told you didn't have to come pick me up. Matilda's voice grows smaller under her mother's calm gaze. Looks like my promotion is done for, but I have no regrets. If I had to do it again, I would still make the same choice. Yeah, as much as I like to see what every branch is in these types of choice-based things, I don't think that's one I would care to see, because it seems just downright depressing. Anyway, at the principal's office, I believe you have something to explain, Madam Harper. Why did I see students who were supposed to stay at school arrive at the field trip site with the Razor Squad? I don't recall rescinding my decision. Behind the heavy walnut desk, the man's tone reveals nothing. No anger, no approval. Lavender, standing behind the monitor director, trembles slightly. The director lowers her gaze, a look no student has likely ever seen before. My deepest apologies, sir. This was all a failure in my supervision. I'll make no excuses. You? The man behind the desk pauses, lost in brief thought. A heavy silence fills the room. But from what I've heard, it was that monitor assistant, Miss Matilda Boniche, who arranged this whole thing, wasn't it? As you said, she's only an assistant. Her words are gently yet firmly cut off. She reminds me of you when you were younger. Always full of ideas. And the young lady behind you. Your name's Lavender, correct? Madam Harper has spoken of you. What's your opinion of Matilda Boniche? No need to hold back, Miss Lavender. I've already heard about Miss Boniche's promotion to level 3 investigator. I'm genuinely pleased for her. Whatever answer you give today, I assure you no one will be penalized. After all, the committee's decisions aren't ours to control. I just want your honest opinion. Yes, Principal. Please wait a moment. I've recorded everything that happened today. In truth, she doesn't know how to answer. She doesn't want to hide anything, but she still isn't sure how much she should say. What's the right answer? What does right even mean? Her mind goes blank as she flips open her notebook. The most important thing is to be yourself, to become the person you want to be. The image of the person who said those words flickers in her mind. What would she say? And what does she want to say? She takes a deep breath. I think Miss Matilda is an impressive monitor assistant, and in the distant future, maybe she'll become the great Matilda Boniche. Outside the school? The cheerful tone makes Matilda jolt upright. She fumbles out her portable communicator, her hands trembling. Miss Matilda Boniche, your clearance level has been updated to level 3 investigator. The St. Pavlov Foundation looks forward to your continued contributions. She doesn't read the rest. Holding the device close, her emotions soar like a roller coaster shooting straight from the depths up into the clouds. Mama, look! Matilda leaps into her mother's arms, and their day ends with a hearty celebratory dinner. Aww. Hey devs, can we get art of that too? That sounds amazingly adorable. The next morning, Matilda Boniche reports to the St. Pavlov Foundation, ready to receive her first mission as a level 3 investigator. The end. Achievement unlocked, the Great Matilda. That's the end. Okay. That was a massive improvement over Necrologists. Actually a 10 out of 10. Cause like with Necrologist, it focused way more on her companions than her herself. This was all about Matilda. We got this equipable as a reward. The flavor text for this says, reflections capture every embrace, but they cannot recount the fullness of the moment. The warmth of arms, the lift of brows, the quiet breaths. We exist here as the truth beyond reflection. Yeah, there's really nothing more I can say. That was just a really great anecdote. I think probably the best one in the game. You know, if I'm putting my character biases aside, because there is a character I like more than Matilda that got an anecdote that I really liked. But yeah, they smoothed out the interactivity elements in this one, made it more clear what you're supposed to do. And with these little icons here, it seems like if you did miss what you were supposed to do, you would be able to go back and get it. Which was my biggest problem with the Necrologist one because you only get one ending. Like, you make your choices, it's not clear what the best one is. You're stuck with whatever you did. I really hope the devs retroactively fix Necrologists so that you can make the other choices. I still don't know what happens in the other possible branches. I mean, that's on me because I could just go and look it up. But like, I should be able to just do it in the game. But anyway, that was a great experience, so I think I will continue to do future anecdotes. And maybe some of the old ones that I liked. I'll think about it. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. And remember to leave a like while you're at it. Hope you have a great day. Cue the outro.